On a bad day, after a difficult exam, or the hours after receiving some bad news, we often try to cheer ourselves up. Dr. Craig Miller, assistant professor of psychiatry at Harvard Medical School, suggests if you're down about something, step away from it for a period of time and do something else. But imagine you were barely able to afford essential care, let alone distractions and fun activities that could improve your mental health. Families with a child battling cancer often can barely pay their medical bills and struggle mightily to keep morale high among all members of the household. High medical expenses, stressful appointments, and life-changing decisions can put a strain on the family. In order to persevere through this time, it is essential that these families receive both financial and emotional support from those around them. With that being said, it is imperative that more funds are raised to assist families battling cancer in order to alleviate this burden. Presently, there is not enough funding for cancer organizations that can support families physically, financially, and emotionally. When a child is diagnosed with cancer, the parents' and doctors' first priorities are to cure them and keep them healthy. If a doctor tells a family the only way to save the life of their child is through an expensive treatment or procedure, the family is extremely likely to prioritize their child's life over the cost. As of July 2019, in the United States alone, there are approximately 16.9 million people who had received cancer diagnosis. With high deductible insurance, the average out-of-pocket spending cost was about $1,000, yet these costs can skyrocket depending on the severity of an individual's case. Costs to families include time away from work, treatment and procedures during the initial diagnosis, as well as additional scans and medication that are recurrent for the rest of the patient's life. A study published by the National Institute of Health shows that the economic cost follows a U-shaped trend. The expenses are highest at the initial diagnosis, they drop significantly, and then rise to a near peak again in the final stages of life. Peak costs can range up to $16,000 for individuals with a 36-month survival rate. Bills. In the Columbus area specifically, the demand for financial support is extremely high. There's a strong need for affordable care in the Columbus area as the average salary is $65,000 a year. The cost of living in Columbus alone is higher than 10% of the rest of the country, and accompanied with medical expenses, it can be difficult to stay afloat. Obviously, many families across the U.S. have a difficult time paying their medical expenses, and this financial burden can further affect the mental health of the family. Dealing with a life-threatening illness in itself takes a mental toll. Mental and emotional support is essential to maintaining a positive morale amongst members of the household, but that can be difficult to do when money is a concern. The only way to combat this issue at this time is to raise more funds for organizations that not only assist families with all of their essential expenses, but also assist in providing mood boosters for the children that the family cannot afford. Nationwide charities as well as smaller family-run organizations exist to help aid in this fight. Charities such as the Make-A-Wish Foundation exist to provide families and young children with incredible experiences to try to distract them from the huge burden cancer has placed on their lives. The Make-A-Wish Foundation has granted the wishes of more than 334,000 children since the organization's inception in 1980. An example of the incredible work done by the Make-A-Wish Foundation can be seen through the story of a 5-year-old girl named Charlotte. After undergoing a bone marrow transplant, her family noticed that the pain, nausea, and depression began erasing the playful spirit and positive attitude of their child. Charlotte's wish was to meet a unicorn, and through the Make-A-Wish Foundation, her dream was able to be made into a reality. Quote, "When Charlotte found out she was meeting a real live unicorn, she was over the moon," said Estella. "It was so refreshing to see her so excited because not long ago, Charlotte's world was crashing down." End quote. Charlotte, along with so many other children, were able to return to a sense of normalcy and be fun, happy kids again, even if it was just for a day or two, because of the work done by the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Another organization that helps to alleviate some of the stressors placed on families with cancer is the Carolyn Sullivan Memorial Foundation. The mission of this organization is also to provide financial assistance to families in need. Although it operates on a much smaller scale than the Make-A-Wish Foundation, the mission is extremely similar. The mission statement specifically says it is the foundation's mission to offer financial support to those families. We want to show love, friendship, and support to our friends and neighbors who face difficult times. The formation and support of charities similar to this one throughout multiple regions, including the Midwest Columbus area, are what we need to alleviate financial burdens of these families and prevent further mental and emotional stress. With more involvement from the general public in these foundations, a sufficient amount of funds can be raised. The face of many of these families truly does lie in our hands. With enough awareness and an increase in donations, an impact can be made quite quickly. Although there seems to be a very obvious solution to aiding in financial and emotional support of these families with cancer, demand as well as competitive philanthropy stand in the way. Charities such as the Make-A-Wish Foundation receive such tremendously high demand each year that it is difficult for the charity to have the means to help every child or family in need. As of 2019, 15,600 wishes were granted. However, there was an estimated 27,000 children in the United States with qualifying conditions. Evidently, there is a large gap between children who qualify for a wish and those who are granted one. Most of these wishes are extremely costly and require tremendous funding in order to be carried out. According to the Make-A-Wish Foundation, as of 2018, the average cost of granting each wish was $11,161. Because of this, it is imperative that the organizations like Make-A-Wish Foundation receive significant support and donations annually. It is clear that the work these organizations do is meaningful and important, so why are they not raising enough funds to support all families in need? Unfortunately, when most people think of cancer foundations, they think of research-based charities initially. According to the Forbes list of top charities in the United States, the first cancer organization on the list is St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. Although this organization supports an excellent cause as well, their main mission is supporting research to establish viable cures. Make-A-Wish is ranked 42nd on the list, and smaller organizations such as the Carolyn Sullivan Memorial Foundation that was mentioned earlier are nowhere to be found within the top rankings. When philanthropic individuals are deciding where to donate, they do not consider the holistic support of the patient as much as they do the research aspect of it, which is why we need to raise awareness in order to raise more funds. In conclusion, costly medications, procedures, scans, and treatments can affect a family for years to come, regardless of the severity of the individual's case. Additionally, it is extremely likely for families battling cancer to slip into bouts of depression and suffer from severe anxiety. We need to raise more money for these families to not only help to alleviate their medical expenses, but to be able to provide them with joyous activities and experiences that can bring the family together and help to shine a little bit of light on a very dark time.